Constitution of RCW 98.68.010, parentheses 1, parentheses B, statute overboard. Next issue, whether RCW 98.68.010, parentheses 1 and B, liberty, pursuit, and overrule on overboard statute and overboard and punishing innocence and constitutionally protected activity. State versus O'Neill, 103 WN 2nd D, 853-858-700. P2D 711, as in Sullivan, 1985. The O'Neill court found that the implied element of corrupt intent required to uphold RCW 98.68.010, parentheses 1, parentheses A, O'Neill 103 WN 2nd at 859. The court has also found that the element in the fact implied because the legislator is presumed to have intended and act unjust or unconstitutional law. O'Neill 859 equally responsible implying corruption intent to RCW 9868.010, parentheses 1, parentheses B. The only difference between subsections A and B is that the only difference between subsection A and B, former refers to givers, bribery, later-day saints, LDS churches, to taker. The reasonable difference between the two sections insofar as mental element is concerned. Find the corruption intent element improved and implied by the statute ensures productive activity and punished. Necessary elements and supplied by statutes are overboard. RCW 9868.10 reads part follows. Number 1, a person is guilty of bribery if A, with the intent to secure a particular result in particular matter, involvement in exercising public servant's vote, opinion, judgment, exercise, discretion, and others in action, official capacity, offers, confers, and agrees and uncovers, and procuring benefit upon such public servant. Number B, being public servant requests, accepts, agrees to accept any personal benefits, pursues, and agreements, understanding that his vote, opinion, judgment, exercise, discretion, and other action public servant will be used to secure a particular result in particular matters. The statute in principle vague. When you do the Greco contention, statute is vague and fails to find agreement. Understanding the statute voids of vagueness under the 14th Amendment. Bear arms too.
Andy, so have fun today.
Yeah, we're gonna have Understanding in the statute void vagueness of 14th Amendment, fraud and frame terms, as you can see, the vague persons of common intelligence of the necessary guess, meaningful difference in applications. O'Neill, 103 WN 2nd at 859 point, a view of person common intelligence would conclude agreement, understanding used in the statute means mutual agreement. The definition is cited by Greco in the brief. Statute is not in principle vague. Equal protection. Greco's argument states unbridled discretion decline whether to charge a felony RCW 9A68010 parentheses 1 and be bribery or a misdemeanor under RCW 42.20.010 1 and 2 official misconduct. Denying his equal protection. The equal protection guarantee violated the elements of statutes. Prohibiting the behavior are the same essential same. State versus Sherman. Now, State versus Sherman 98 WN 2nd 53-61-653 P 612-1982. It would be unreasonable, inadequately allow prosecutor to have imposed varying disagreements and punishment in the same criminal acts. State versus Esminger. Now, State versus Esminger 77 WN 535-536-463 6112 1970. However, equal protection is violated where the crimes contain different elements. Now, in Taylor, Miss Taylor and Mrs. Taylor, and also the services at 105 WN 6768 711 P number 2D 345 1985, the state that on February discretion charging Greco RCW 42.20.0101 and 2. Include the corruption intent agreement elements contained RCW 9A.68.101B because crimes contain different elements charged in RICO under lib bribery statute did not deny him equal protection. Now RCW 42.20.109A.68.10 concurrent argues may charge only official misconduct under the RCW 42.20.103, which he labels as special statutes on your Safeway products and labels your Albertsons products, also your Yokes, Safeway, Vaughn's, Rosars, and also don't forget the main distributor of Winco, all the labels. And also at the Trump Towers and Trump Residency, the labels are marked on your menu for discount prices because you're in my house. Hold. Because the RCW reflects on the camera, as you can see, in all the casinos and the display streaming on the property lines, all the property lines, RCW 98.68.011B, which labels general statutes concurred and special statute applied exclusion general state versus canon. Now, this is state versus can, C-A-N. Now, this can, 92 WN 2D 93 97 595 P 2D 9112 1979. Statutes are concurrent, and general statute will be violated with each instance where special statutes have been violated. State versus Schreiner, 101 WN 576 580 681 P 2nd D 237 1984. This special applies to special statute includes elements include general statutes. State versus Danforth. Now Danforth in 97 WN 2D 255 257 59 643 P D 2882 1982. Other rule would frustrate legislative intent to treat the subsequent activity of crime defined by special statute, apart from general shim. Now, Danforth, 97 WN, saying 257.59. The statute and questions are not concurrent. RCW's 98.68.011B requires corruption intent agreement, accomplish a particular result. Those elements are including official misconduct statutes, assuming are neato that general and special labels apply. These standards will be violated in various instances which special statute violate proper and Greco bribery statute. Now this is bribery statute. Now sufficient and findings and conclusions required in a judge-tried cases in order to support convictions should separately state the factual basis, concurrent sentences. Now, the state versus Russell, 68 WN 2nd D 274 750 415 P2D 503 1966 without comprehensive special written findings, appellate courts cannot properly review the trial court resolution, disputed facts, and applications of law to those facts. Russell, 68 WN 2D at 750/51. Here is trial court liberties and bribery findings inadequate. They cannot be sure trial found all the necessary elements and agreements. Now, the agreements in Greco to exercise discretion return for cash payments be inferred from findings of fact, but not clear that the judge actually concluded that there was such as an agreement. This finding failed to address element corruption intent because these findings incomplete and vacant bribery convictions and remand entry of further findings. See Russell, 68. State Jones. APP app 848-851-664 P2D12. And this is on ebook in the Barela section. This is 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. This is driving abstract, department licensing, and also the services for the seals for business licensing that are renewed. And City Hall. Efficient findings and conclusions occur. Official misconduct, state Greco, elements of agreement excited, the parent from trial judge memorandums opinions that memos from City Hall. These lights state O'Neill 103 WN 8537 P2 711 believe necessary element corruption, intent, supply implication, and memos and memorandum opinions, however, cannot fill void findings, fact, criminal cases. All this whiteout and all this highlights and whiteout and it covers and makes up on discoveries. This containment is March 1999. March 1999, March 21st, 26th, that's Fabian Barela, Roberta Barela, and Mr. Donald Trump. Don't forget Mr. Donald Trump. I'll take care of Roberta. I take care of him. I do everything. I run this show. I do everything for Roberta. Oh, shit. Here's your dead body, Mr. Donald Trump. There's your wife. Ms. Lewis Schreiner, pilot. Donald Rocket, prosecuting attorney, and Clinton Francis, deputy, for respondent, correspondent, respondent, defendant, co-defendant, and also witnesses and jury boxes. Now, Green James Youngest in 1988, security officers Ron Bartos, James Lee, watching their theft activity by Tiedeman's Warehouse Foods, Cedar Street in Spokane, Washington. Now, Tiedeman's been in the area over in, of course, Norris Street and Sprague, where all the prostitutes were killed by Mrs. Don't forget Mrs. and Mrs. Yates at Gonzaga University, dropping me off at Gonzaga University. So this misconduct, Mrs. Yates and Mr. Yates and Mr. Yates and Mr. Yates and Mary Yates, Mary Yates, and Bill Gates and the foundation, and don't forget Andy Miller in processing, Mr. Fabian Barela and Mr. Samuel Hernandez and the Samuel Hernandez family. And these services in 1980s reflect the incarceration of Prosser, Washington, the first jail that's been processed in historic archives in the history of the world and planet. Now, Warehouse Foods in Cedar Street in Spokane, Washington, is not too far observed by Howard Farr. Entered a store a short time that day. He ran out of the front store, pushing a cart full of meat with Felix Barela in it, abandoned it. Tri-City Herald. Mr. Mears Barrett's Lee approaching Mr. Fairfleet by foot. Of course he would run, because he's a fool. After the brief chase, he was apprehended and arrested and recovered and stolen items and ran each item over the computer scanner and determined whether the total value of Mars Brothers and Lee testified the value was $300.70. Mr. Farr was charged second-degree theft, RCW 95656.0401A, convicted following bench trial. No, leaving me at the Budweiser company with the Budweiser corporate and also the Budweiser franchise, didn't help him a bit for the tobacco, firearms, and administration. The testimony security officer's value of Mr. Farr contends the testimony where he had his own gym. Mr. Fallon, F-A-L-L-O, Jim Fallon. Now, Mr. Farr contends the testimony and evidence of value should reverse Mr. Bill Gates' homeboy. I'm coach, I'll coach anybody. And that Farr contends testimony evidence of value should reverse convicted because of Terry. These security guards' knowledge from the tags argues the testimony unexcluded and small hearsay. State versus Coleman. Charlie Cox versus Administration Office. Benton County Justice Department. Charlie Cox versus Benton County Justice Department. Oh yes, you can drive D9. You can sew up 100-pound tow bags. Argued testimony that this excludes disposal in a reasonable state of Coleman 19 AP 549576 and 925-1978. He disagreed with this person. And this is number one, abbreviated. A person guilty of this theft second degree commits the theft. The property service extends in $250 in value. Anything at $2,500, $3,500, $5,000 is a felony. Now, this is petty service from property service, but this service value, market value approximate act was committed in RCW 9A56.01012A. Market value is the price the well-informed buyer would pay to well-informed seller and obligated to enter in the transaction. State Hancock, APP 297302721, P21006 1980, quoting State Clark, WAP 782-78537, 2/8/2019 State of Raleigh 74. Mr. Bartos, first-hand knowledge of Tideman's pricing procedures, knew the price tag. He was feared from his life. This guy was intimidating him and sitting there drooling over his merchandise and property, licking his skew tickers and putting it on his forehead. He was torturing him and mayhem in front of militia acts. These are Mr. McFay, Oklahoma Unabomber, being punked by individual weighing 138 pounds. Mr. McFay bombed Oklahoma. He was at oil companies in Moses Lake and trading and partaking services for Mr. Yates would hit him upside the head with the tray. And then thousands of people pull in and pull him off him. And they're getting punked left and right. Because the meat market extends $250, Aqueduct Foundation, IBP, Iowa Beef, in Nebraska, Texas, and Court Street. And those services provide admitted testimony by Mr. Bartos. Now, lead contributed testimony of Mr. Bartos. He described each stolen item and tag price and stated total description of $301.70. Back then, they could buy you a Microsoft program, Microsoft 365, and also a laptop and services to the boot for warranty for their services. The security guards cannot testify the price tag of stolen items reflecting the market value of the items. Situation here on Mr. Bart's new pricing, Tideman, price known item. Now, City of Washington respondent versus Ella, Sistruck appellate. Searches, seizures, open vetting, immediate recognition. Cease and seizures, planned view, scope, expansion. Anything in plain view, doctrine hereby police officer make warrants or seizure and contraband evidence of criminal activity, which visible officers lawful and true constitution protect area and justify extending search into general exploratory search and body scope search and a mile into your testing. Search, seizures, stop and frisk, seizure, search consists fruit unlawful search. Nature of action, prosecuted positions of marijuana. Anything over 40 grams of marijuana is a felony. Anything 40 grams of heroin is considered bagging, processing, and litigating and processing as a service. Superior Court, Superior, Lincoln County, 88/1/0012/1. William Ziller J., September 29, 1988. Entered judgment guilty of stipulated facts. The Court's appeal holding the scope of such offended vehicle when properly expanded the officer's reasonable suspicion criminal activity. The results of the search should have been suspicious and press. Court reverses judge dismissed the charge. Michael Kinkley for appellate. Philip Burst, prosecutor. Ronald Shepard, deputy respondent. Shields, Mr. Sheriff, found guilty of possession of heroin. She appeals. Reverses. At 10 p.m. on May 9, 1988, Deputy Jerry Lamb noticed a parked in a thyroid rest area of State Route 2. The hood of a vehicle was raised. The deputy Lane approached the vehicle. Two individuals set up a front seat. The deputy asked driver if he had a car problem. Drivers indicated there was nothing wrong. Mr. Owner, Mrs. Sistruck, the owner, and that's Sistruck, the owner and passenger in the vehicle, indicating initially a problem with the radiator. There's a current problem. They were actually help the department deputy. Deputy Lane flashed the light into the interior with a spotlight, noticing the cans in the back seat. There are approximately 39 cans, such as beer cans, such as the soda cans, and a mixture of lying in their sides. Several cans squashed, covered with sand and weeds. Deputy Lane advised driver's seat. Open the container law, RCW and 46, and that's a BAC and blood contacts, the level of services that would be contact marijuana and also services they have into dose and diversion. So you have these individuals hiding themselves in disguise in corporate. That's CR 3.5 and 3.6 suppression hearings done for evidence, proving it for the fact. Approximate 39 cans and then the squash cans, and also the Opagainer law that is mentioned, 346.61.519, informed Deputy Lane that Ms. Sinker has been collecting cans along the roadway, recycling purposes. Both the driver and Ms. Sistrom told Deputy, the owner, drinking, smelling toxic reserves, other indications of drinking. May say no more.